Okay, you should be good.
Good morning, everybody. Sorry for the delay. Calls me from order at 9:55 a.m. There was a delay, there was a power outage, there was some work that needed to be done down here at the preventative center, which caused the power to get turned off. Probably for this approximately 45 minutes, it should be on. The power should be restored here at the preventative center. Thank you all for joining us today. I'm going to turn it over to the firm. He's here to join us today, providing invocation for us. First,
Oh, abang mana tu ini menu itu mana tu. Dia dah pernah nasi mak. Oh, Sean mana tu ini menu itu mana tu. Dia dah pernah nasi mak. Oh, negara bintang mana tu ini menu itu mana. Dia dah pernah nasi mak. Menu itu bintang mana tu. Dia dah pernah nasi mak. Oh, negara itu mana. Dia dah pernah nasi mak. No, national Minua, Nibikang Manitoid, Tapnana Sema. Minua, Ogimam Immigration University. Tapnana Sema. Minua, Nidwana Japanese, Minua. Tapnana Sema. No, Shomasina. No, no Kumasina. Minu Kujaka Manito. Bayam. Because if you watch the taco changing. There is rush to be done. That's what many of them get many go on. Right there, I get Mishnah, don't know. So many look. Shall we do work and Mishnah? I don't know. Yeah. Thanks, I don't know many so. So many look at the shop. We do work, satisfy, and you work on Mishnah base. In a window, many took. Many took a figure shot, we took work. Because why many were if I have a mom, you know, take how many, put how many, but I did you want. But now,
Carlos Hernandez,
here.
Jane Drift,
Here,
Sarah Keisha,
Here.
Robert Moyer.
Okay. Agenda, next order, presenting for additional resolution.
I can't hear you. You're muffled.
Mr. Chairman and Council, I have one addition to the agenda. I'm sorry, two. Appointment of the Duluth Precinct Board Member and appointments to the District 2 Precinct election board members.
Miranda, are you gonna add those under you?
Yes.
Thank you.
I only see one correction, which is section 8B. It's the trade in 2017 John Deere.
Sounds good. Ask for a motion to approve the agenda with the additions of the appointment of the election board members under Miranda.
Move.
By Sarah, second by Robert. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any silent? Motion carried. Next item on the agenda is approval of meeting minutes for September 17th, 2025. Please review.
Move to approve.
Moved by Shane to approve. Do I have a second? Second by Robert. All in favor, say aye. Any opposed? Any silent? Motion carried. Next item on the agenda is the consent agenda. Brenda, would you be able to read the items as listed?
Yes, under the consent agenda, letter A, site agreement with MASTEC Network Solutions to reinstall cellular antennas on water tower at Fortune Bay. Vote was 3-4, 0 against, 0 silent. Letter B, contract with Utility Systems of American for Big West Transit Project, water wastewater tie-in. Vote was 3-4, 0 against, 0 silent. Letter C, approving more IHS funds for construction of Nett Lake sewer ponds rehab. Amendment number 3, due to discovery of human remains. Vote was 3-4, 0 against, 0 silent. Letter D, media consent to release from Leech Lake MNTRECC project for drone footage of community for Bois Forte Early childhood. The vote was 3-4, 0 against, 0 silent. Letter E, contract with DSGW for workforce and economic development facility. Vote was 3-4, 0 against, 0 silent. Letter F, FY 26 Head Start grant. Vote was 3-4, 0 against, 0 silent. Letter G, amendment to professional services agreement with DSGW for DNR facility. Vote was 3-4, 0 against, 0 silent.
Call for a motion to approve the consent agenda as read. By Robert, by second. Second by Sarah. All in favor, say aye. Any opposed? Any silent? Motion carried. Next item on the agenda is Jacob White, Bois Lake filming update.
Mr. Chair and Council, we don't see Jacob White online, but I do have the update that he was going to provide. And so if that's okay, I'll go over it. The update is the producers for the Ghost Lake film are pushing their shoot dates to November 2nd through the 10th, 2025, because of a scheduling change with one of the actors. They will be casting some lead actor and background roles this month and are looking to hire Bois Forte band members for those roles, as well as a few crew positions on the film. Look out for posters and social media announcements. Also, if you're interested, you can contact producer Jacob White at jacob@whitepineproductions.net or producer, writer, director Janu Benton at janu.benton.banai@gmail.com. So what we can do is we can put this information out on the website for any interested band members to take a look at. Thank you.
Appreciate it. Next item on the agenda is Brian Whiteman. First up with approving the bid recommendation for the bid tabulation for Big Woods Transit Phase 2.
morning. What I have here is a council is, first of all, the big tabulation. At the front of me was max estimated for $5,068,000. Failing construction was $4,907,000. Dark on precast, just 4 precast walls, so. Very good. But, that one came well under 300,000 difference between max grade. So, DSGW, ordered the bid for that, for approval, for a final approval. Ballot. For phase 2. As you know, phase 1 is going on. Water and sewer tie. That's what's meeting.
Is it 3 phases? There are gonna be 3 phases to the project, or 2 phases?
It's 2 phases. The 2 phases.
Okay.
Phase 2 is the building construction. Approximately 250 days, mentioned in their bid. That we thought that was a pretty good date count for the.
In the, explain before 1997.
Oh, well, construction bid was $4,957,000.
Total, or is this additional to phase 2? Or is this?
Utility Systems of America.
So 4,927,000.
It's only to build the construction, the building.
Yes.
But still.
Please get that in the microphone.
Only for the facility. For valley construction. Utility Systems of America. Voted on that contract. 0, that's phase 1.
Okay, got it. I move to approve bid recommendation for Valiant. $4,927,000. Construction.
On the floor by Sarah, do I have a second? Second by Robert, all in favor, say aye. Any opposed? Any silent? Motion carried. Next up, Brian, thank you. You have another item, it's the permission to trade in, and we did a correction in 2017, John Deere.
Yep. Boy, construction force again and most that's $7,000. Trading John Deere 2017 or 2017 John Deere was $42,000. For trading. They were the lowest best price for us.
Said for Coy, they're going to be able to provide the new equipment also.
Yes. Yeah.
Just to approve this request. Trade in the old John Deere. It's a new one.
Same for the title.
Jane, do you have a question?
Yes, Brian, with this, new, loader that you're looking at getting, and then looking at the previous one, and how it's starting to develop problems and cost and all that, are you able to purchase an extended warranty for the new one?
That's what I plan on doing.
And then, what is the shelf life of this new one? Is it longer than the old one, or is it still about the same?
That's about the same. The reason why I'm doing it is because that catastrophic fan failure to the job motor and that.
Okay. Thank you.
About a second. Second by Sarah, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any silent? Motion carried. Appreciate it, Brian, thank you for joining us today. Next up on the agenda is Brian again,
Yes,
and he's going to bring up some fears.
yes, I'll be standing in for Spears.
Oh, perfect. We're going to be talking about the purchase of a sensor technology for GPS and video surveillance of all transit vehicles.
Yes, the reason why we went with Samsara, they have a little okay. And they were more, they communicated with vehicles than these other, companies, Paseo, Belcher. Samsara was, had the easiest package to work with vehicles, up the Alberta 5-year plan at a lower price of $200K. Telephone. Also, the reason is our grant would be expiring in March, so we have to move, But we lose it. It's fine. All lose it. And
For 17 units. This
Yeah.
year. They'll be able to cover all.
of our, and that.
Are there any questions or concerns from the council?
Yes, with these cameras, do we have to put a notification on the buses informing people that there are cameras on board?
Yes, it would be, surveillance on.
And will these cameras have like a microphone system so that if something should happen and they need to go back and access the video, that they'll be able to hear the audio as well?
I believe it's, video.
Just video. Okay, thank you.
Sounds good. If there's no questions or concerns, ask for a motion to approve the purchase of this package for transit here. All right, Robert, we have a second. Goodbye, Sarah, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any silent? Motion carried. Appreciate Brian coming in today. It's congratulations.
Yeah, you have to go with it. What's that here?
Next item on the agenda is George Strong. First item he's going to talk about is the MOU with developing radio partners for collaboration during the ideation and proposal development phase for potential joint projects. Maybe joining us on it. All right, George, you'll be joining us online, and I'm going to turn it over to you.
Minogije. Bonjour.
George, thank you for joining us.
Oh, yeah, thanks. What I got for you is the MOU for the, what do they call, radio, no. Developing radio partners. What it is it's a group of stations that's kind of formulating a group where we're going to pursue some journalism, like a journalism program for each station. And developing radio partners is going to be assisting each of the stations in creating their own arm of journalism. So this is basically the first step in pursuing some funding to help make this possible. And there's no money involved, and it's just basically an understanding, an agreement where we're going to move forward and get these groups together so that the Developing Radio Partners group can go ahead and include us as part of the funding request when they make their presentations. And what we're looking for,
Be able to partner with them.
say that again, I didn't hear it quite clearly.
Sorry about that, George, but it does sound like an interesting group to be able to partner up with and share resources.
Yeah, well, let me go on. I had more trouble hearing you, but basically, Jeff has reviewed this. We've gone back and forth a couple times, and both groups, us and radio or Developing Radio Partners, is ready to roll with it. So we just need a signature on the tribal council's part.
So everything looks good. It looks like it's been reviewed by Jeff also, and everything looks good on the work. But I don't have any questions or concerns from council. I'll ask for a motion to approve this request, or then we,
Move to approve.
by Sarah, do I have a second? Second by Robert, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any silent? Motion carried. Thank you, George. We'll get this signature there.
I just have one, well, it's for anybody really, but specifically, George, could you note in your memo, that you need a signature from the chair? If we as a council need to also approve that, it's will be signing this MOU for you, and then it also helps the admin ladies, to follow up with the signature, and then get that back to you quickly. Small request.
Okay, the audio is broken up on my end here, but I'll follow up with the admin ladies.
Sounds good. So next.
Okay,
Next, we have a service agreement with Invocation.
correct. Basically, this is a service that we utilize every year since 2013, I believe. And what it is it helps us get the information out of what's currently playing on our airwaves. And this is requires a service agreement, and we were able to create one. And Jeff was instrumental in getting Bois Forte's interest considered. So the agreement is good. Jeff reviewed it, and after going through just a couple of times, it wasn't really that much of a process, but it is presented here, and we're looking for council approval.
Everything was looking good. Just that Tara had mentioned earlier, just the request that you're gonna be requesting council authorization to have chairman sign. But everything was good on the other end, so there's no questions or concerns.
Approved.
Moved by Sarah, do I have a second? Second by Robert, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any silent? Motion carried. Thank you, George. Thanks for joining us today.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
All right, next up on the agenda is Robbie Valentine. He's going to be presenting, he was able to put together a quote to sell 6 maintenance trucks at one time, so I think it's a good deal here, but Robbie, I'm gonna let you take that over.
Morning, everybody. Yeah, so, I was approached by Kenny Hughes, man, he's a contractor doing a water line coming in, to, purchase the 6 trucks. He actually asked for a package deal, so with the 6, we did bid these out in May, the end of May till end of June. On each truck, we got no bids. So bringing it to you guys, never did a package deal, so, just want to make sure that's okay. So,
Now, it's supposed to be these trucks were offered to vendors, everyone was supposed that it was. And then put it to bid on these trucks. I think it's a good idea to be able to sell these trucks, get them, their eyesore, you know. Not right now, so if we're able to sell them all. A shot, that would be good for the band, and then provide this guy with the good deal, because it's taking them off our hands and to be able to use them. There's no question that I consider that for a motion to approve. Take a look and see.
I got one. Just for the audience, I was the bid was $12,000.
Appreciate it, Robbie. There's no questions or concerns. Ask for a motion to approve the sale. Robert, do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Tara, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any silent? Carried.
But, just to make sure that they're as is, he removes them, we don't have to transport anything, we don't have to have incur any additional costs for this, and, that was as is.
Yeah, they're gonna do this, you'll take them off the back part of the lot back there, and, he did say he'll have money tomorrow, that's how fast he can ready to move on it, so you don't follow those.
Cool, thank you.
Appreciate it. Thank you, Robbie. Next up on the agenda, we have Morgan Olson, just coming to speak with us about the joint power agreement with the state of Minnesota. Consulting services and voice work for the incorporating native voices and coastal places project. Hi Morgan, how you doing today?
I'm doing great. How are you guys?
Pretty good, thank you.
So I'm here to primarily present the implementation of a joint powers agreement between the Minnesota DNR and Bois Forte. But I think more importantly, I'd like to hear feedback on the project this Jake is proposing. So for a little background, the Minnesota DNR Lake Security Coastal Program has extra funding decided on a project called Native Voices in Coastal Areas. They'd like to fund at least one community driven project. The focus of enhancing Ojibwe culture, presence, and perspectives along the lake. Heritage Center staff will attend an in-person meeting, a maximum of 2 virtual meetings, as well as fulfill various other obligations such as reviewing materials, providing references or recommendations to experts and resources, and interpretive services. As the lead on this project, I plan to act as a bridge for the Bois Forte members and the project's coordinators to help with their needs, desired serve. So I'll do a little background and a quick summary on the JPA. So the dates are from September 2nd, 2025, for the date that the state obtains all required signatures, whichever is later. And then it will end on June 30th, 2026, once all obligations have been satisfied, whichever occurs first. And our responsibilities will be to participate in the planning meetings for the incorporating community voices into coastal places project. We'll also be reviewing materials, providing references, interpretive services. And as payment, the state will pay Bois Forte a rate of $100 per hour and not to exceed 45 hours for. And the goal of this project is support tribal priorities for native culture, cultural heritage, visibility, and coastal areas of Lake Superior. And so the program staff want to hear about the perspectives, preferences, and interests of the members here in Bois Forte. And other partners in this project are Fond du Lac, Band of Lake Superior, Chippewa, Grand Portage, Band of Lake Superior, Chippewa, 1854 Treaty Authority, and DNR's Ojibwe Relations Liaison, and hopefully Bois Forte. And overall, I think it's a super cool opportunity for Bois Forte to have Ojibwe culture and language become more visible in the region, in a way community members back up and support. So if this is approved, like to hear feedback from community members who are watching. And just to hear what aspects of Ojibwe culture would like to see. And this JPA was reviewed by Jeff on the 26th of August. And the first meeting, which is in person in Fond du Lac, will be October. I believe you guys have a JPA.
I just got a couple. It's $100 an hour at 4,500 feet. And there is travel, so how are we going to reconcile that? You know what I mean? Like how if you're okay, you already have a mechanism that so that really aren't paying more than what the project is, or if we have to incur any costs with that, if that 4,500 covers everything, including staff, salary and travel and that per diem.
Yeah, so I'll be on the clock. I'll be getting my regular rate and reimbursement for my mileage, but the rest will be going to. It should help them.
We'll ask that for salary with the balance, that's what
Okay,
we have to pay to do it.
okay. I just want to make sure that that covers, because I want to make sure if it doesn't, you know, that we know the figure, but if it is going to cover everything, then I'm okay. I move to approve the JPA with the state of Minnesota. Consulting services for Morgan Olson. Bois Forte for the incorporating native voices into coastal places.
Motion on the floor, do I have a second? Second by Robert, all in favor, say aye. Any opposed,
I oppose.
silent? Motion carried. 1, 2, 1 against. Take Morgan.
No, I don't know,
Can you make sure that we're keeping the community informed about exactly what you're doing? By the summary, report, when you'll be going, and then how you want the community, how you would like that you're having regular meetings or inviting people to like, make sure that that is broadcast out to the community so that communication can be open.
and would you like me to?
Executive director or supervisor. Oh, just keep, that is your task. Community.
Okay, okay. And I would like to get like, your permission to ask. If you hear from council. What you'd like to see done. For example, I guess like something I'd like to see done is the way language signs. And identification. If there's any other ideas?
I think we'll get together and focus some ideas to. I appreciate that. I'm certainly concerned with the council was relationship between the state of Minnesota and the Department of Natural Resources. I know we do want to build a backward relationship with them, but we just want to make sure that they follow the protocols and don't just working without our permission. Thank you, Morgan. All right, next up on the agenda is Terry DePaul. And she's going to be speaking with us about research and data sharing agreement with the Center for Research and Evaluation Services. The UW Superior. Thank you for joining us today, Terry.
Can you guys talk, can you talk closer to the mics? They're having a hard time hearing them.
Okay, next up we have Terry DePaul. He's going to be joining us today about the research and data sharing agreement with the Center for Research and Evaluation Services at the University of Wisconsin Superior. Thank you, Terry.
Morning. Some background. I have invited Emily Newman, the director for the Institutional Research and Sponsored Programs from UWF. And with the delay, she said the only time I can't be there is from 10:30 to 11. And when you know, I get up here right at 10:30, so. If you had questions, she was going to be able to maybe answer some of those. But some background. So this is regarding the Bridge to Health survey. It's been conducted in since 1995, every 5 years. The regions includes Aiken County, Carleton, Polk, Douglas, Itasca, Kennebec County, Houston County, Lake County, Pine and St. Louis County, the city of Duluth. The primary purpose of the survey is to provide information that will foster greater understanding of the health of the region's adult population and motivate organizations and community groups to address pressing health issues and improve the area's health status. The Bridge to Health survey is coordinated by Generations Healthcare Initiatives with support from over 40 local organizations. It is led by the University of Wisconsin Superior's Center for Research and Evaluation Services. They sent out proportions directly related to the county beginning of September, like September 2nd was the the deadline for, to get all questions addressed. And so the randomized portion of the survey that's sent out through these organizations has been dispatched September 2nd. Originally, we haven't had any input to this organization prior since 1995, and they have received some new leadership. And so they reached out to all the tribes in July. And by that time, all the questions were pretty much approved. And they consulted with the tribes and our legal. And so they have very specific things regarding our data, so that we retain that data for our own purposes. So I'm very happy that they reached out this year and were able to include, you know, Fond du Lac, Portage, and us. I think they should too, but our portions would be, we retain that data. So the randomized survey, they might just pick a few people that were in our zip code and that resided on the reservation. And so there's specific questions. And so that data we would retain. And they wouldn't use that data unless we sign the agreement. So they partnered with us so that we can have a specific, we can ask these questions specific to our constituents, our members, and we would retain that data, and they would evaluate that data for us, and then we would get reports. What the survey would do is drive our grants, our grant applications, and the information that we put out, and we don't have to pay for this. This is through the Rtc survey. So it really helps us in that we do these surveys all the time, and it costs us money. And so this is, we're going to do another risk assessment or community assessment within the next 2 years. And so these like 66 questions would be, we get that information from those questions, and retain that data. Does that make sense? I get excited, so this is an important survey, and it's done every 5 years. So we haven't released, or we haven't asked anybody of our members, we haven't went and did the survey like door to door. So we want to do that, and we haven't started it yet. We have till October 31st to complete as many surveys as possible. But we want the agreement signed before we do any of these surveys. So to me, it's like win-win. Sorry for that one. The sample size of statewide surveys is too small, you know, from our constituents to allow for county or community level analysis. The Rtc Health survey seeks to fill that gap in local data to provide a more complete picture of the region's current adult health status. And this information is taken in grant applications for new programs, for clinics, hospitals, public health departments, and this will help shape our programs and services. So we haven't, the randomized survey went on September 2nd, and because it's random, we don't know like if any of our members got surveys they put up, but we have a component that we would go and mine the data from our members and gather that and send that to the UWS. They would compile that information, and we would retain the rights to that report. Review has, or legal has reviewed it. And Fond du Lac, they've all contributed with, you know, how we want to use that data.
Sounds good, thank you, sir. Is there any questions or concerns from council?
Yes, is Jeff online?
Yep, I'm here.
Jeff, if you look at the contract, under 6.3 sovereign immunity, and if you take a look at the last section, the last sentence of that section, it talks about how should a court of competent jurisdiction determine that this provision cannot be given full legal effect, the entirety of this agreement shall become null and void. Now, it's talk about our sovereignty, the band's sovereignty, and I have an issue with that. Unless I'm reading it wrong, can you elaborate on that?
Yeah, sure. So 6.3, this is a clause that retains the band's sovereign immunity, and then even goes a little bit further to say if there's any provisions that conflict with that, that provision about retaining sovereign immunity would govern. So that would be the rule throughout this contract. That last provision about should a court of competent jurisdiction, I mean, this gets to the fact that unfortunately lots of courts don't understand the legal principles underlying sovereign immunity. So if we ever had a court look at this contract and say, no, we think the band's waived sovereign immunity, even though it's clear that it hasn't, this provision would automatically extinguish the agreement as a protective measure for Bois Forte. So that there wouldn't be ongoing jurisdiction of a court if the agreement was terminated. So it's very unlikely it would come to that because it's clear that 6.3 retains immunity for the band, but it's just an additional measure that, should you have a court that doesn't understand that and would argue that or conclude that there was a waiver of immunity, the agreement would terminate. Does that make sense?
Yes, that makes perfect sense, but that's what I'm getting at. Or if we're having a court determine our sovereign immunity and they don't understand it, that's going to become a problem.
Well, and this wouldn't be a situation where we would be asking a court. This would be a situation like you enter into for any contract where you can't always control the actions of another party. So another party could always bring some sort of legal action. I don't expect that under this contract because this seems like a collaborative partnership. But if you had another party bring a claim before a court, they always have that right to try to bring a claim. And so we always can't control that. So that would be a situation where we wouldn't be asking the court to do anything, but another party to the contract might.
So other than that, you don't have no concerns with it then?
No, I don't. And this actually is a really favorable contract. I mean, if you go through the data privacy, I mean, we really work to make sure that the band really controls every aspect of use of its name, use of its logo, retention of the data, storage of the data, no waiver of sovereign immunity. It's a really deferential contract to the band. So I think it's pretty protective overall.
Okay, with that being said, I move to approve.
Second. Second by Sarah, all in favor, say aye. Any opposed? Any silent? Motion carried. Thank you, Sarah. Much appreciated for having you join us today. Next on the agenda is Teresa Drift, I'm sorry. Teresa Drift, I look names at the same time. Teresa Drift's going to join us. And we're going to be speaking about the policy lease addendum, free drug-free housing. And we'll make that everywhere. So we're going to take a small recess to try to correct yeah.
You guys just want to test it out here?
Thank you all for joining us today testing. We're going to be trying a different microphone setup so people can hear us online. Hopefully it's working because this is how it's going to go for the rest of the meeting.
We don't use this?
No, we're not going to be using this. We're just going to be talking. That's going to pick us up right there.
Okay.
You're more clear now.
Thank you, Jeff. All right, so we're going to resume the meeting at 10:59. And next up, we have Teresa Drift speaking for the policy needs addendum for crime-free, drug-free housing at New Moon.
Good morning, Teresa. Yeah, I've never gone by Terry. There is another Terry.
Okay,
Morse.
There's Terry Morrison, there's Terry Defoe, there's Terry Hill Drift or Drift Hill. And anyway, we get confused all the time.
It's the other Terry Drift.
It's the other Terry Drift, but she's not here. So, good morning. So this lease addendum is an update to current policy at New Moon. When the state made cannabis legal, our policy had said illegal drugs, not legal drugs. It does say alcohol. So this just clarifies in the language that cannabis is included in the things that are not allowed at New Moon. And this is just, Jeff did state that I should bring it to you for approval.
I suppose, and this is only in order to comply with federal guidelines, since marijuana is still illegal on the federal level, and HUD is a federal program in order to comply, right?
That is correct. And we do have a small pot of funding that applies to New Moon only. So
Right.
this is only for the New Moon project.
Are there any questions or concerns from council? Yes.
Mr. Chairman, there is a comment online. Find it really. There we go. The comment online is, I hope the council understands the harm that will happen to residents at New Moon for allowing no crime, no drugs, lease addendum. New Moon is supportive housing, meaning people who live need services. This is punishment to the people for being addicts and having mental health issues. The whole entire purpose of New Moon is to help, not punish. There was a response to that comment online. No crime and drug use in any housing complex is necessary to protect all residents.
And just to clarify, we don't expect people to be sober at New Moon. They just cannot use or possess or grow in the buildings. If they wish to go elsewhere and smoke, that is entirely up to them. We don't restrict them. They can go elsewhere and drink. That is up to them. They just cannot do it at New Moon itself.
And both supportive housing, transitional housing. Yes, I don't believe it's punitive. Have some expectations on our members that are transitioning and needing to over in supportive housing. There's no questions or concerns. I ask for a motion to approve lease addendum for crime-free, drug-free housing at New Moon.
Move to approve.
By Tara, do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Shane. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any silent? Motion carried. Thank you, Teresa.
Thank you very much.
All right, next up on the agenda is Kim Greiner. With two items. First is going to be talking about the IHS buyback withhold agreement for the fiscal year 2026. Hi, Kim, thank you for joining us today.
Good morning. The first item is what the items that we leave at IHS or services they provide for us, and they give us a cost. So we are self-governance and we get a lump sum of money from them. And then we go through and kind of leave some things at IHS, and the amount of the that of this agreement is 67,107, and it's for clinical informationist, health information management, inoperability consultant, and medical equipment management program. I did discuss with Dan, and he's okay with it. That Dan,
Okay.
yeah,
All right.
Dan. Dan Rabideau, the IHS or HHS director, excuse me.
No worries. Okay.
Can you say that again? They're all broken out into,
Mhm.
what was the total again? Sorry.
67,107, and they just withhold it, the funds that they give us.
Okay. Got it.
And this is a standard thing we do each year. And so I'm just asking for the authorization for the chair, to approve the chair to sign the agreement.
Additional questions or concerns? I ask for a motion to approve. Moved by Robert. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Tara. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any silent? Motion carried.
Really quick, just to make sure if you edit the form, because it says acting chairman, so that
Oh.
just, if you could correct that, please.
Okay.
Thank you.
Next up is Kim Still, and she's going to provide us with a quarterly financial update.
Okay, first of all, this is the first time doing this, so it'll probably be a work in progress, but also the information that I will be sharing is partially protected band member information. So I'll need to ask for a waiver from the council to be able to present in public meetings.
Sounds good. In order to own transparency, ask for a motion to approve this waiver to allow Kim to release this during our public meeting.
Move.
Moved by Tara,
Second.
second by Shane. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Silent. Motion carried.
Okay, first of all, this is of what's on our books as of yesterday. So there's a lot of work to be done to close out the fiscal year, because yesterday was our last day. And this is a very high level. And like I said, it's going to be a work in progress. So first of all, I'm just going to go over the categories, and then we'll go from there. Our total assets is 158,000. I'm just going to round off to that. Liabilities is 13,124,000, which leaves us our fund balance of 89,127. Our revenues that were posted in our general ledger is 450,000, and our expenditures are 74,357,000, which leaves us about we have excess expenditures over revenues of 5.9 million, but we have a lot of entries we haven't recorded. So we haven't recorded revenues from the clinic for the month of September. We haven't all our ACHs for the month. We get the bank statement today, and they'll be being recorded. So all that's not in here. So it's not not like that. And then the other part is that a couple of years ago, we got all the ARPA funds in. And so those are in the fund balance and we're spending, we had approved projects that we're spending down. So it's gonna go, but that's basically our first financial presentation. I know probably the bigger question is people are asking about the government shutdown. We are, so there's significant amount of money we tried to get paid and draw down. So we drew down quite a bit during September. Most federal programs, you can only have 3 days of cash on hand. So like, I'm going to use Randy's broadband or his NTIA project. It's a $19 million project. We can't go draw that down and keep it here. We have to make the payment within 3 days of getting the money. So we had some large payments. We tried to get all those contractors to get their bills in and pay them and then drew down the money. So all that has to be recorded. So we do have a financial contingency plan that the council had approved back in I think February or March, when we were going to shut down earlier this year, or the federal government. Yeah, I know. I caught that. Sorry about that. The federal government was going to shut down, and I'm working on updating that. So right now, if we were to not get any cash in going forward, and we kept everything where we're at, we have about 4 months to operate with cash on hand, which is a lot different than the last time we had a shutdown in 2019. A couple of things going with that. Federal systems are opening back up, the cash management systems. We enter online and we get processed payments for grants that were already approved and allocated. So like today, Brian was presenting about the transit facility. So that was a previous grant awarded before this new fiscal year. And so the funds are in the cash management system. So as we go, we can still draw the funds. There'll be a little bit more delay because they reduce their staff, but they have staff at places. So we've kind of went through and did that. The other thing that's different is Indian Health Services funding is called advanced. They have advanced appropriations. And so 2023 was the first year that Congress had advanced appropriated. So the base funding for our IHS dollars is already appropriated, and we will be getting those in the middle of October. So they fund a year ahead of time, and so that they don't have disruptions to services. So there's a lot of different things going along. And so the thing that I'm finishing up working on is worksheets for different phases. They have four phases of the shutdown, and it goes by length of days or percentage of cuts. And those will go out to the senior management program directors, and they need to they'll identify what areas would be affected per the phases and come forth and inform the council of those.
Okay. Jacob.
Yes.
I noticed is it our first one?
Yep.
Okay. It's our first quarterly financial update.
Mhm.
I know it's not up for discussion today. If people have questions or comments, they can add them online. So like she said, it's a work in progress, and want to keep our transparency open, but also keep in mind that we need to keep in mind the information that we're releasing. All right, but thank you, Kim. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Kim.
I acknowledge your report. Next up on the agenda is Nikki Irving. She's going to be speaking about resolution number 27-2026 and 2025 through 2026 NCAI membership news. Thank you for joining us today, Nikki.
Okay, so yeah, all I have is the resolution for the 2025-2026 membership dues for NCAI, which is the National Congress of American Indians. With this membership, it includes 100 to 180 votes per convention, broadcast of the rising two tribal leader emails, broadcast of the ledger, the 2 tribal leader emails. This year, the price has gone up to $12,000. I believe last year it might have been 6. I think that's based on our revenue information.
A blessing in disguise.
What kind of benefits do you think? Kim, do you have your? Are you able to let us know what the benefits for NCAI membership is? I know we just had a recent one about being able to post our positions because you are looking for a comptroller. So that's one. And then let us know where the $12,000 would be coming from, Kim.
Membership dues come out of the
I
general.
still
fund.
need you to come up closer to the mic, sorry.
Turn that one off.
Okay, the funds would be out of the general fund. And, the memberships are, national lobbying. They collectively, policy input and lobby days, networking, education, expertise, data and market intelligence, business resource discounts, and mostly networking and, information. They do a lot of things on the federal level for lobbying. And I think I attended like on Monday, they do a lot of webinars to educate
Mhm.
tribe.
If it helps, I did put in here the NCAI purpose. So the purpose of the National Congress of American Indians is to serve as a forum for unified policy development among tribal governments in order to, 1, protect and advance tribal governance and treaty rights, 2, promote economic development and health and welfare in Indian and Alaska Native communities, and 3, educate the public toward a better understanding of Indian and Alaska Native tribes. The principal office of the NCAI shall be located in Washington, D.C. and other offices.
Even though the membership dues have gone up because we're in a better financial picture for the band right now, I think Kim might agree that, and hopefully the council, this is a significant contribution to what we've done before. But the outcome, especially today being the first day that the federal government has shut down, the tribes really need to count on each other and collaborate to help each other and to help organize and get our voices heard on the federal level. So I think this would be a good idea for us to invest in, so that the tribes can align and work together with this pending government shutdown. And hopefully it isn't as long as the last one, which was 35 days back in 2019. We got through that together. I don't think we were an NCAI participant back then, but we are now.
There's no questions or concerns from council. Ask for a motion to approve. Resolution number 27-2026. Which is covering the 2025-2026 NCAI membership dues.
Move to approve.
Moved by Tara. Do I have a second?
Okay,
Second by Shane. All in favor, say aye. Any opposed? Any silent? Motion carried. Much appreciated, Nikki.
Thank you, Nikki.
Next, Miranda has Miranda has some items here. Start out with the section of board members.
Yeah, first we have an appointment to the Duluth Precinct Board, and that would be Elena Steele.
All paperwork is done. Just need approval.
No, we need to appoint her first before we
Oh.
do the paperwork and pre-employment tasks.
Okay.
move to appoint.
By Shane, do I have a second? Second by Robert. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any silent? Motion carried.
Now we have 3 appointments to the District 2 precinct, which is Vermillion. The first one is Terry Defoe.
Second.
Second by Tara. All in favor, say aye.
Aye,
Any opposed? Any silent? Carried.
Next, we have Marissa Rose.
Move to approve.
By Tara. Do I have a second? Second by Robert. All in favor, say aye.
aye,
Any opposed? Any silent? Motion carried.
And finally, we have Bessie Medicine.
Move to approve.
Moved by Tara. Do I have a second? Second?
oh, he can't vote?
Motion on the floor. Do I have a second?
Second,
Second by Shane. All in favor, say aye. Any opposed? Any silent? Robert is silent. Motion carried.
And Mr. Chair and Council, if I can provide a brief update to the listeners online. Due to the power issues going on at Vermillion, Lake Country Power will be cutting off the power to the Vermillion Reservation at approximately noon today. They are hoping that the power outage will not last longer than 2 hours. The medical, dental, and pharmacy will remain open in Vermillion. Most tribal government buildings in Vermillion have generator backup. So just an update for those here in person as well as those online. We will send notification out by a regroup, social media, very, very shortly if it's not already sent out.
Thank you for the update, Miranda.
Thank you.
If there's no other questions or concerns from council, I'll ask for a motion to adjourn the meeting.
move,
Second.
Moved by Shane, second by Tara. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any silent? Meeting adjourned at 11:23. Thank you, Rich, for joining us today. gonna have a short, break right before we have